Hey guys, what's going on? InsidiousSwede back again here for another YouTube video. Welcome to my updated manga collection as of January 2017. The last collection video I made was back in May. As of then, I was at 1,300 volumes, but currently I'm sitting at a bit more than 1,500, which is absolutely insane. I have 5 shelves in total. The one in front of you, of course, 3 behind me, my 3 mahogany bookshelves, 1 across the room, and then also manga kind of scattered about on the floor. So I have a lot to show you, so sit back and enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so I figured the first shelf we could go to is my main shelf, of course, the one I do all my filming on. It also has most of my favorite series, so it's a great place to start. But anyways, on the top of this shelf I have a bunch of series. First off is the Buddha box set by Osamu Tezuka. Great thing to own, really happy to have this. Next up is Message to Adolf, another great Osamu Tezuka series. Behind that we have my first 2 Battle Royale Ultimate Editions, and then of course my Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin hardcovers. Over to the side here I have Kazuo Kato's Time Killers. This is just a collection of short stories. Kind of an interesting read. And then my other and only other Osamu Tezuka series, The Mysterious Underground Men right there, which I believe is now completely out of print. And then the 3rd Ultimate Edition for Battle Royale. Over here we have one of many Inio Asano works I need to read, Nijigahara Holograph. Next up is the Blame reprint by Vertical Comics, just the first volume so far. And then this is actually a graphic novel. This is the Attack on Titan anthology, which is basically a collection of short stories written and drawn by American comic book authors and artists. Kind of a unique thing, but nothing crazy. And then of course we have 20th Century Boys. I'm only missing volumes 21, 22, and then also 21st Century Boys, which I plan to get soon, but so far from what I've read of it, it's been fantastic. And then behind that we have the Full Metal Alchemist box set, which I'm not going to get out, but it is complete. Alright, moving on to the main shelf here, we have Yoshihiro Tatsumi's, Yoshihiro Tatsumi's A Drifting Life, just kind of a semi-autobiography. Next up is Showa, A History of Japan by Shigeru Mizuki. Really incredible series. This first volume covers Japan pre-World War II, but the following volumes cover during World War II and then post-World War II for Japan. So great kind of historical series right there. And Shigeru Mizuki's artwork is incredible. Next up is Guile, of course, the horror series by Junji Ito. I preferred this one way more than Uzumaki in my opinion, just kind of more crazy and ridiculous and just a little bit better. Next up is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1. I've heard it's the weakest JoJo part, so I want to get more of it because so far I haven't really been dragged in like a lot of other people have. Next up is Neon Genesis Evangelion, the complete series. And then next, of course, is my favorite manga of all time, Vinland Saga. If you guys haven't read Vinland Saga yet, you definitely need to check it out. An incredible Viking manga by Makoto Yukimura. Beautiful artwork, great characterization and world building. Just by far my favorite manga I have ever read. I have the first 7 volumes so far. Next up is All You Need Is Kill, the 1-volume series, of course, drawn by Takeshi Obata. Edge of Tomorrow, of course, the Hollywood film is also based off of the same story. I think the film is a bit better, but this was still a great read. And then I have the first 5 Death Note Black editions, which covers the first 10 volumes right there. Next up, we have Terraform Mars, which was honestly okay. I haven't bought any more of it for a long time. But I might want to go back to it and give it a second chance. Next up is Makoto Yukimura's Planets, of course, his other work, great outer space sci-fi series. Really enjoyed this one, even though it's only the 2 volumes. Next up is Gangsta 1 and 2, Tokyo Ghoul 1 through 9, Inuyashiki 1 through 5. Definitely Hiroya Oku's best work. Of course, he also did Gantz, but I just prefer this one over that series. Next up is Goodnight Pun Pun 1 and 2. Master Keaton 1 through 4, and then my other Naoki Urasawa work. I love this series as well. Pluto, it's my second favorite Urasawa work. Next up is Solanin by Inio Asano, another Asano work I need to read. And then Ubo Blatt volumes 0 and 1, decent series, nothing crazy though. Alright, below that we have Ultraman 1 through 5, and then my personal favorite Naoki Urasawa work, Monster 1 through 9, complete series. Fantastic, guys. I'm sure you've read this by now. Just an incredible thriller drama series that covers just some incredible storylines and characters, and just one of the things I'm most proud to own for sure. Next up is Barakeman Volumes 1 through 11. Incredible slice of life comedy, just really kind of a chill manga. Great stories from chapter to chapter with incredible characters as well. Next up is Saturn Apartments 1 through 7. That's a complete series. Happiness Volume 1, Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage 0 through 3. I guess I've technically dropped it, but I'm not going to say that officially because I might want to go back and give this one a second chance. Until Death Do Us Part Volume 1. Black Lagoon, which I need to get more of, and then Dorohedoro 1 and 2, a series that I tried to get into, just couldn't, but I've heard so many good things, I might want to go back to this one as well. Alright, below here we have the first 2 volumes of the Fruits Basket reprint. I apologize for the lighting, guys, it's getting kind of dark down here, I know. But yeah, I haven't really hopped into Fruits Basket yet, but I want to do that eventually. Next up is Daiwa Gelder Volume 1. Resident Evil The Marawa Desire 1 through 5 complete series. Honestly, this is definitely a manga you should skip unless you're a die-hard fan of Resident Evil, because it's kind of hard to follow the storyline, and even though the artwork is fantastic, it's just kind of your standard zombie manga. Next up is Biomega 1 through 4. Of course, Tatehiko Inoue's Real 1 through 13, the basketball manga, well, his other basketball manga. Yowamushi Pedal 1 and 2. I have the first, of course, 2 volumes here, but I definitely would recommend the anime over this series. I would kind of have this as kind of an afterthought. Definitely watch the anime first of Yowamushi Pedal. I have Doubt, the complete series, and then the other work done by the same mangaka, Judge, which Doubt was just okay, but Judge, I just couldn't get into it at all. Shaman Warrior 1 through 9. This is a complete manhwa series by Dark Horse. What a Wonderful World complete series by Inio Asano, and then right here is Wandering Islands. Alright, final shelf on the bottom here we have After School Charisma 1 through 4, Ikigami The Ultimate Limit 1 through 4. This is actually only an 11 volume series, and from what I've read of it so far, it's actually pretty good and underrated in my opinion. Jormungand Volume 1. This is a series I want to get into, but a couple volumes are pretty expensive and out of print, so I might not for at least right now. March Story Volume 1, not going to continue with it though, it's I think a 5 volume series. Love It 14, pass guys, trust me. House of 5 Leaves 1 and 2 by Natsumi Ono. Scum's Wish, this was an okay first volume for a romance series. Might give the second volume a chance, we'll have to see. Oh My Goddess 1 through 3, the new omnibus reprints by Dark Horse. Started Volume 1. Really couldn't get into it, but we'll have to see if I go back to it or not. Welcome to the Ballroom Volume 1, Satoshi Kon's Opus, then Bokurano no Hours 1 through 6, which I've technically dropped now. And then here I have the Blade of the Immortal single volumes. I have 1 to 20 here, then 22, 24, and 25. I'm basically waiting for the omnibus to come out this month, so I can see if the edition is nice enough to stop collecting the single volumes, but if they're not, I'll just continue on with these. And then the final thing I have on this shelf is the Legend of the Galactic Heroes light novel, which I haven't started yet. I might over the summer, but right now I don't really have the time to sit down and read a light novel. But yeah, that is the first shelf we have. Just kind of go over it one more time, as you can see here. But yeah, this is just one of 5, so let's continue on. Alright, the next shelf we're moving on to is of course my old Blu-ray shelf, but as you can see the manga collection has kind of taken over. Anyway, starting off in the top left hand corner we have first off The Flowers of Evil complete series by Shuzo Oshimi. Most people like this more than I do. I find it to just be okay. No Longer Human, the complete series. This manga is insane, especially the ending. Nichiju, My Ordinary Life 1 to 3, a pretty good comedy series here. Devil's Line, one of the better new manga of 2016. Ajin, Demi-Human 1 to 8, and then My Neighbor Seki, which is a series that I know a lot of people enjoy, but I just couldn't get into it. The Garden of Words complete series. Tokyo ESP Volume 1. Immortal Hounds 1 and 2, and To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts 1 through 3. Both are also great new series releasing in 2016. Prophecy complete manga, kind of a fun cyber terrorism series that has a lot of originality to it. Witchcraft Works 1 through 3. Knights of Sidonia 1 to 6. I'm missing volume 7 because it got damaged in a Right Stuff order, and then volume 8. Rising of the Shield Hero, this is the light novel, and I also have the first 3 manga companions. This is My Pathetic Vampire Life, kind of an interesting comedy series. Orange, the complete collection. The Ancient Magus Bride 1 to 5. Mushoku Tensei 1 through 4. I know people love the light novel, but so far I've really been enjoying the manga, so for now I'm just going to stick to that. Tomodachi X Monster, this is a complete series, kind of a dark parody on Pokemon. Hour of the Zombie 1 to 3, an interesting zombie, high school zombie series. It's getting better though. Volume 1 was okay, but I think it's finally starting to develop a little bit more now, a couple volumes in. And then the great I Am a Hero, the first 2 omnibuses right here. Unfortunately, Dark Horse, I don't know what's up with them, but it's going to take forever to get this entire series, but still a fantastic manga so far. Alright, next up we have Battle Rabbits, Volume 1. Skip it, guys. Servamp, Volume 1. A Certain Scientific Railgun 1 and 2. Jack the Ripper, this is a manhwa. And then I have the first 2 and 1 for Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Next up is Chobits, complete series. Lone Wolf and Cub 1 to 3, the first 9 volumes in omnibus form. Another series that I want to start pretty soon. The Kurosaki Corpse Delivery Service. Got recommended this title not too long ago, I don't think. And it is a manga that I want to get the rest of before starting so I can read it in 1 or 2 sittings. Drifters 1 and 2. Danganronpa, the manga based off of the video game. Gigantomaxia. This is a fun 1-volume series by Kentaro Miura, but of course his main work is always Berserk. I have the first 34 volumes here. I'm missing 3, and then soon to be 4 finally, with volume 38 coming out this year. But as you guys know, Berserk is a masterpiece, incredible series. Next up, on the next shelf, we have Mail Volume 1, Eden of the East 1 through 3, or Eden of the East. Eden is an Endless World, excuse me. I'm hoping for a reprint, but I'm not holding my breath. Gantz 1 to 21. The first 2 story arcs were pretty good, but I kind of lost interest right here, so although it's not bad, it's just kind of confusing and it drags on too long, but overall it's a solid manga. GTO 1 to 10, of course. Tokyo Pop being out of print, I can't really get more volumes, and I'm weird about the spines. They kind of all have to be the same for me, so it's weird like getting mismatch spines, but this is a manga that I eventually want to complete. And then Dragonhead 1 to 10, which is a complete horror manga. Pretty good, not incredible though. Next up is my Japanese manga. I have Rikudo, which is an incredible sports manga, guys. Extremely brutal, but I'd highly recommend that. Kingdoms right there, or Kingdom, excuse me, not Kingdoms. I have the first 5 volumes, which, by the way, look incredible. Tokyo Ghoul Re, Volume 1, and then, of course, the Tokyo Ghoul art book here, which I'm very proud to have that in the collection. Billy Bat 1 to 3, another Urasawa work that deserves an English release, which I'm expecting eventually, so I'm probably not going to get any more Japanese volumes of it. Giant Killing 1 to 8, pretty good football, soccer manga that I read online. Baby Steps, Ace of the Diamond, Beelzebub, and Aoharu Ride are those final 4 series. And then moving all the way over here, we have some more English volumes. I have Old Boy 1 through 3. Love the movie, but I don't really think the manga is as good, in my opinion. Wolfsmund 1 through 3, and then also Great is 1 through 3. Alright, next up we have the entire Kuroko no Basket series in Japanese, which, although I love having it, I picked it up before, of course, the English release got announced, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I kind of want to hang on to it for now, but I was going to get rid of it, but now I'm thinking I'm going to hang on to it just because how incredible the spines look, and until I'm completely out of space, I'll just hang on to it. And then right here is the character Bible. Next up is Hajime no Ippo 1 to 13. This is all I have of it so far. No, I don't plan to collect the entire Hajime no Ippo series, but I definitely want some more of it. Volume 1 of Tepu, and then Volumes 1 through 5 of Holy Land, and then Initial D, which I've watched the anime. That was fantastic, and I don't think I'll collect the manga, but I wanted to at least get one volume of it. And then on the final part of the shelf, on the bottom here, we have my Vizbigs. So Dragon Ball 1 through 5 right here, Dragon Ball Z 1 through 9, and then of course the insanely good Vagabond 1 through 12, the first 36 volumes. Just reread this, or I'm in the process of rereading it, and it's almost better the second time, surprisingly. I've been able to appreciate it a little bit more. And then the final volume on this shelf, it's just kind of a random one-volume series called Nichiren. So that is the second shelf here, guys. Now time to move on to my mahogany shelves. Alright, so now we're on to the 3 main mahogany bookshelves, of course, where I have most of my collection. So getting started, I guess we'll go to the top left-hand corner and work our way down. First off, we have The God's Lie. Really good 1-volume story. I'd highly recommend that for people who are new to manga. I think it's a very touching series that doesn't ask a lot of the reader. 5 centimeters per second, another great series, 1-volume title. A Girl on the Shore, it's a manga by Inio Asano. I'm going to hold off on reading for now, but I've heard very weird things about that. Tropic of the Sea by Satoshi Kon. This is a great 1-volume series. Highly recommend this one. And then next up we have, of course, the great One Punch Man. Love this series to death, and just one of the best mangas out there. Magi 1 to 16. I wasn't too sure about this series at first, but it's definitely grown on me. Assassination Classroom 1 to 7. Haikyuu 1 to 6. I've watched the majority of the anime, which has been brilliant, and I definitely want to start the manga soon. Twin Star Exorcists 1 through 6. Then here we have some Attack on Titan stuff. This is Before the Fall 1 to 3. No Regrets 1 to 2, complete with the, of course, Levi's backstory. And then, of course, onto the main manga 1 to 19, which I still enjoy it. I think it's kind of popular to hate on Attack on Titan. I still think it's a solid manga, and very much worth reading if you haven't started it yet. Next up is A Silent Voice 1 to 7. By far my favorite romance manga of all time, but of course it has so much more to it than just romance. It's a very heavy manga about depression and dealing with things like deafness. It's just a really great series, guys. Highly recommend that one. Seventh Garden, Volume 1. Haven't checked it out yet. Platinum, and this is a great new series by Sugumi Ohba and Takeshi Obata. Sure, it borrows a lot of elements from Death Note, but the fact of the matter is they wrote Death Note together, so they can borrow as much as they want from it. It's their own unique property. I think they're doing some unique things with it, so I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. Next up is Black Clover 1 to 3. Shokugeki no Soma 1 to 15. Great ongoing shonen manga series. One of my personal ongoing favorites. Next up is World Trigger. Takes a bit to get going. The first couple volumes, I think it's trying to find its footing, but as it goes on, it continues to get better and better. Blue Exorcist 1 to 13. Pretty good series by Kazuo Kato, but I've kind of lost a little bit of interest in this manga. And then the final series on this top shelf, we have Slam Dunk, of course, the incredible basketball manga by Tatehiko Inoue. We have the complete series. Beautiful artwork, love the characters, and just overall a great manga series. Alright, next up is Bakuman, volumes 1 to 20, complete series. Really great manga, of course, for people who are new to the industry especially. And then also Death Note, my other set, if you will. I also have the black editions, as you saw. Both are incredible series and both great for people who are new to manga. Next up is Siren 1 to 16. This is actually a pretty good shonen manga. It is complete. Kind of feels like early Bleach in a lot of ways, so that's positive. The ending's a bit rocky, but overall, pretty solid shonen manga. Kimi ni Todoke 1 to 4. Then right here I have Your Lie in April 1 and 2, which I've already seen the anime, and that blew me away, so I don't think I'll be getting any more of the manga, just because I don't feel like it's needed. But I definitely plan to pick up the anime eventually. Next up is Dead Man Wonderland 1 to 13, complete series. Noragami 1 to 17. This manga is fantastic. I think it used to be underrated, but these days it seems like most people are very aware of Noragami and how good it is. I also have the Stray Stories Volume 1 here. Forget Me Not 1 and 2, and then Livingstone 1 to 4 complete series. Has the same artist as Demon Wonderland, so this is also a very beautiful looking manga. Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon 1 to 6? Pretty good series. Nothing particularly special about it, but just overall very enjoyable. Overlord Volume 1, The Devil is a Part-Timer 1 to 3, Kaguru Daze 1 and 2, and then Durarara Volume 1. Next up is Dimension W, another pretty good series from 2016, but not the best to come out during that year. Black Bullet 1 and 2, Horimiya 1 through 3, Behind the Scenes 1 and 2, and then of course Batum, which is one of my favorite Yen Press titles. Great survival series. I know it has a lot of similarities to, titles like Battle Royale, but I think it has a lot of unique elements as well, especially moving on into the second story arc at Volume 11. Next up, My Hero Academia 1 to 6. I've heard incredible things about this. I am holding off on it for now, and I'm probably going to build up a bit of a backlog, but definitely pretty excited for this manga when I do get around to starting it. Seraph of the End 1 to 5. Nisekoi 1 to 12. Haven't bought a volume of Nisekoi in a long time, but it's an okay manga series, but I feel like it just kind of drags on. Real Account 1 to 4. Yotsuba and Tagamibachi, both 2 series I have on my backlog that I am very excited to get into. Alright, next shelf here we have first off Hunter x Hunter 1 to 26. Loved the anime, fantastic series, but unfortunately I just can't get past the Togashi artwork. It is so bad at times, but yeah, unfortunate with his health problems. This could have been an incredible manga, but as it stands, it's just an incredible story that got realized in an anime. The Seven Deadly Sins 1 through 10. Cross Game 1 to 8 complete series. Great kind of sport slash romance slash slice of life series. Really highly recommended. Next up is Oppar's Hunter, of course, done by Naruto's Masashi Kishimoto's brother, Seishi Kishimoto. I wish it was just called its original title. I believe it was like 666 Demon or something like that. But as it stands, Oppar's Hunter 1 to 4. Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan 1 to 17. Yeah, I wish I bought less of this manga because by volume like 7 or 8, I just kind of lost all interest in it. Ultimo 1 to 5. School Judgment 1 to 3. Despite the fact that it has Obata artwork, it is not worth your time, trust me. UQ Holder 1 to 3. Kuroko's Basketball, the first 3 2-in-1s, volumes 1 to 6. As you guys saw, I do have the Japanese manga, which I guess I'll hang on to for now, but I do plan to also buy the manga in English to, of course, support the industry. Parasite 1 to 8, great seinen manga series, of course, about alien invasion, with some comedy thrown in there. Overall, a very, very good manga. Genshiken, the first omnibus. Next up is Akame ga Kill, which I liked the first volume, but since then I just haven't really enjoyed it, so I haven't bought more than past volume 4. Claymore 1 to 16. Sankareya 1 to 8. This is technically a drop series for me, couldn't really get into it, although it's okay. Higurashi When They Cry 1 to 7. Muho and Roji's Bureau of Supernatural Investigation, pretty fun series, might buy more of that eventually. Soul Eater 1 to 5. I've heard it gets really good later on, so I'm going to try to stick it out and see if it does. Itsu Aribido Volume 1. Ninja Slayer Kills 1 and 2. This is a pretty bad manga, guys, so I'd steer clear. Pandora Hearts 1 and 2. Yu-Gi-Oh! 1 and 2, which, I was a huge fan of the anime back when I was a kid, watched it on cable, but the manga just doesn't really have that same feel to me, so I don't think I'll be buying any more of that, unfortunately. And then the final series on this shelf is The Heroic Legend of Arslan, of course, done by the same mangaka who does Full Metal Alchemist, which they kind of have that problem where every character kind of looks like somebody from Full Metal Alchemist, so it's hard to read in that sense, but overall it's an okay manga. But yeah, time to move on to the next shelf. Alright, next up, Hikaru no Go 1 to 23 complete manga. Incredible series about the game of Go. Although I don't consider myself necessarily a fan, it's still a very enjoyable series, and actually one that I want to reread pretty soon. Next up, Eye Shield 21. We have 1 to 28, besides 27. This is a football manga, American football. And although I'm a huge fan of the sport, this manga, I just can't really get into it. I've given it a shot. I might need to go back to it and reread some stuff. But overall, it's okay. Yusuke Murata's artwork is gorgeous, but the story is just decent. Next up, oh yeah, my bad. I also have 29 and 30, which are even backwards, but yeah, forgot about those two. Next up is Dengeki Daisy 1 to 16, one of the very few shoujo mangas I have. You know, it was okay. Better than I was expecting, but the end kind of threw me for a loop. Got a little too serious for its own good, I think. Next up is Shaman King 1 to 32, which, yeah, this is probably the series I regret buying most. It is just not that good, guys. I do apologize if you like it. I can see the merit, but it just isn't my thing. Bloody Monday 1 and 2, Hoshin Engi Volume 1, and then My Little Monster Volume 1 to finish off this portion. Next up, we have Blood Lad 1 to 5, one of the first ever manga series that I got, so a lot of nostalgia there, but overall it's also a very good title. And then we have Toriko 1 to 36. I guess it's still considered an ongoing, so as it is, this is my favorite ongoing shonen manga. Yeah, but I think I'm at right about volume 27, so I do have a fair ways to go before I'm even considered caught up. And then final series on this shelf is Fairy Tail, which, yeah, do not like that manga at all, but I have, for some reason, not gotten rid of it yet. But, yeah, have the first 6 volumes of that. Alright, finally on the bottom shelf, we have first off, Eyes 1 to 15, complete series. Pretty good, you know, romance series, kind of cute, but the ending is so bad, so I don't know if it's worth it, but yeah, I just was really disappointed by the ending, but overall, the rest of it is actually pretty good. Yu Yu Hakusho 1 to 11, I've seen the anime, fantastic, but haven't started the manga yet. Jago or Jacko, the Galactic Patrolman, of course, done by Akira Toriyama, based in the Dragon Ball universe. Log Horizon Volume 1, Rosario Vampire Volume 1, Genkaku Picasso, which is a 3-volume series, of course, done by Usamaru Furuya, the same person who did No Longer Human. Drifting Classroom 1 to 11, complete series. And then to finish off the shelf, I have Pokemon Adventures, the first box set. You know, I will admit, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, but I really couldn't get into the box set, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know, just something about the changing of main characters really kind of threw me off and kind of took me out of the series. But yeah, that is the 3 mahogany bookshelves. So this is basically it, guys, but I do have a bit more manga to show you. So we'll get to that, and then we will wrap up the video. Alright, so here we are with the final bit of manga. I actually had to get these 2 series out in a place where I could show them off. First off, of course, is Naruto. We have volumes 21, as you can see down there, hopefully, all the way up to 49, and then down here we have 50, all the way to 72. So this is all I have of Naruto. I used to have the 3-in-1s for the first 21 volumes, and I sold them off because of their terrible quality. Eventually, I'll look to get the single volumes, but for now, this is fine for me. Next up, of course, we have Bleach 1 all the way to 34, then 35 down there all the way up to 68, which is all that is currently out for Bleach. And you know, I have a love-hate relationship with this series. I think a lot of it is really good. I think a lot of it could have been done so much better, but overall it's a very nostalgic manga for me because of how much time, money, and, you know, emotion I have put into this series. So I don't think I'll ever get rid of it, but it's definitely kind of fallen from grace for me. And the last manga that we have, of course, many of your favorites, we have One Piece. Kind of has its own designated shelf. This is actually part of my graphic novel shelf, so I had to take up a space because of my One Piece volumes. Of course, we have up to 76 here. I have all the volumes. I'll kind of briefly show you, you know, But you guys know what One Piece looks like. I don't need to show you too much. Just know that I do have up to volume 76. I've read up to, I think, right around here, I want to say, volume 70. And I'm also, missing a couple volumes that have come out recently, but I'm not looking to keep up to date with One Piece. And overall, I think it's a good manga. I wouldn't say it's a great series, but again, that's just a personal opinion. I know a lot of you guys out there love it to death. But yeah, that is going to do it for my collection, guys. Again, 1,500 volumes. I can't believe it. And, again, I really appreciate you guys watching. So if you stuck around this long, please give this video a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'm InsidiousSwede. And until next time, take care.